Arts are an integral component of a high-functioning world-class community. That said, if your approach to arts is that it needs to come online immediately, fiscally sustainable, running no negative balance, then you really don't have an appreciation for how arts get incubated. And unfortunately, for the Artisphere coming online during a time of great economic uncertainty, that was a great deal of the expectation both said and interpreted for its beginning. And that was wrong. The Artisphere should have been pursued at a time where it was economically sustainable to do so. It should have been done in a place where it provided the maximum opportunity for widespread embracing of the entire community. That said, we have learned, as the Artisphere nears the end of its useful life, that it has grown in terms of its cachet, not only in the Arlington community, but in the region. So it tells me that Arlington can be a place that incubates art. But we have to be a lot more thoughtful next time to make sure we choose the right place, the right people to run it, and set the clear community expectations for how it's done. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen at some time where we can actually roll up our sleeves and do the work to make it work. But make no mistake, the arts needs to be a part of Arlington's future. I believe it's what our residents want, and I believe it's what our region needs.
I was disappointed to see the Artisphere come to a close. I believe arts is part of our soul, part of our culture. Now that the Artisphere is closed, taxpayers are still paying the rent. This is an opportunity to think differently. We can use that space maybe for small business incubator, high growth entrepreneurship programs. We can't give up looking forward. Every investment won't give us yield of immediate return. This is our opportunity to prepare for the future. I have a millennial at home. She's 22. In 8 short years, they'll be our prime workforce. We have to think forward. We have to evolve. This is our opportunity to think about how we use our property and our tax dollars, invest them wisely and for the future. I believe in the arts. I believe that they are sustainable in Arlington, and I believe they are worth the investment.
I'm a strong supporter of the arts. My husband Steve and I are actually members of the Arlington Players, and they've been a pretty formative part of our Arlington experience. I know what it means to participate in something around arts and livability and what that can do for you as a citizen and as part of the community fabric. But being part of the Arlington Players also informs my perspective on the Artisphere, because the Arlington Players, like a few other art groups, performing arts groups, felt at times a little conflicted about the Artisphere. It's hard to get performance space there as an arts group in the community. It's hard to get rehearsal space there. And I think that what that indicates to me is that Arlington could be looking for more opportunities to leverage the time and talents and support community groups in growing things organically instead of simply imposing big ideas on the community. The Arlington Players, for example, has been interested in trying to partner with the county to rehabilitate a rehearsal space in Shirlington and hasn't had much luck getting open doors. When I tell that story to longtime Arlingtonians, they sort of nod in familiarity because it sounds a lot like the story of the Signature Theater, which has since become a hub of Shirlington. That's a project that grew up organically, grew up based on what the community needed and what arts groups who are already working so hard to preserve this integral part of our civic fabric are already doing and already asking for. So I'd like us to be looking in the years ahead for how we can leverage the talents of our arts groups who are working on this, help and grow organic projects with the community, instead of just setting the big vision for what arts might look like on the county side.
I believe our commitment to the arts is hand in hand with our commitment to education. Art is a different language. It's part of our human experience, and our children require and benefit by immersion in the arts. We can't abandon it in any way. I think that the Artisphere is not necessarily part of that commitment. The Artisphere, we were all just at an event a little while ago at the Artisphere, and it is a gem of a facility. It's got a theater, it's got meeting rooms, it's got a lot of things that businesses would love to use. Why? did the county undertake to support it as an arts venue only, when I think it had a much better application as a business and convention venue? There are organizations, the Roslyn Business Improvement District, and MODEV, and some hotel owners are trying to put together a proposal to take the Artisphere off the hands of the county and operate it as a small-scale business convention venue, and that would benefit all of the businesses in Roslyn. That would benefit our bottom line in the county, because we wouldn't be supporting a marginal arts venue. And sounds win-win to me.
One of the things that we know about living in Arlington is that we have a commitment to the arts. And I don't want to mistake the conversation about the Artisphere about whether we have that commitment. We have an Arlington Arts Center. We have a partnership with developers for our public art. We have a strong and committed public art program. And we have, as others have mentioned, a commitment to Signature Theater that we've reinvested in again this year. So I think that the Artisphere question is an important question, but it's not our entire arts conversation in Arlington. Now, regarding specifically the Artisphere, we have to be honest that there are tough choices ahead. When I talked about my 4 priorities at the beginning of the year, I led with schools and economic development. Our school population is slated to grow 700 to 1,000 students a year. At $15,000 a student, you don't have to be a math major to understand that's a lot of money, and that we're going to have to be making some tough choices about how we find not just seats, but the dollars to pay for those students. As Bruce alluded to, there are 4 bids in currently to the county about what to do with the Artisphere. I believe in public-private partnerships, I believe in innovation, and I believe when it's possible to let the private sector find a way too. I think the Artisphere is going to end up serving our community in a different capacity, but that doesn't take away from Arlington's commitment or the vibrancy of our arts.
I'm a strong supporter of the arts. I helped found the National Chamber Ensemble, a small group of musicians that play currently actually at the Spectrum Theater, which is considered to be part of the Artisphere complex over in Roslyn, and I'm proud to say they just completed their 10th anniversary season. Now, we have a lot of art places, I should say art performance spaces in Arlington. And some of them work better than others. Lover Run, the Artisphere, of course, was one. The Spectrum Theater, as I mentioned, Signature Theater over in Shirlington. Now, I happen to think that the arts are deserving of our support for a variety of reasons. One could even argue, if you want to be very cold and about dollars and cents, that one of the key reasons for the success of Shirlington is the cultural impact of the Signature Theater and the library there. Now, with the Artisphere, unfortunately, it was in the wrong place at the wrong time. The museum had vacated the space. Essentially, it was an attempt to take what is that flyover, that bridge to nowhere, for those of us who've been here a long time, remember, and the Dome Theater that was part of the museum, and basically retrofit an office building to be performance space. And it was never designed to be that. If we're going to do this in the future, I think that we have to do it from the ground up, and I think it has to be part of basically a site plan benefit by developer. The buildings where the Roslyn Spectrum Theater are currently located are Tornado, the large landowner, owns it and is planning on trying to bring that in. And I happen to think that as part of the new project, it could have a theater complex.